Okay, so this is my review of the Dabbsson 2100 Pro. Yes, dab on them, son. I couldn't help myself. But yeah, this is a portable power station that is coming in with a capacity of 2,150 watt hours. And this uses a semi-solid state battery. So this is some of the latest battery technology that allows it to still weigh around 53 pounds. So it's not the lightest power station out there. But when you do use the two handles on the sides of this power station to pick it up, it's not as bad as it was back in the day because of this battery tech and also the way they have designed it. So nothing on top, so you can set some things on top of it. Nothing too heavy, of course, but no wireless charging or nothing like that. But on the front, you do have all of your ports that you will need. So on the left, you'll find all of the USB ports. So this has 3 USB type A ports. So one of them will be able to output up to 12 watts and the other 2 up to 18 watts. And then for USB-C ports, you get 3 of those. One of them can output up to 30 watts. And then the other 2 can go all the way up to 100 watts. And then on the right side, you'll find your car power outlet port. So this will be able to support 12.6 volts at 10 amps and a maximum of 126 watts. And then you'll also find below that the DC 5521 ports. You'll find 2 of those. And also that will be able to output 12.6 volts, 4 amps, and also a maximum of 50.4 watts. And then also you will find this very convenient light on the front of this power station that does have 2 different brightness levels alongside a SOS mode, which will actually be blinking for emergency situations. So you can let someone know far away that you do need help. And so, yeah, it's always convenient to have some type of light on a power station because a lot of people will be using this in a power outage. So it's nice to have something that can light up your space a little bit. And then on the actual right side of the power station at the bottom, you will find one NEMA TT30 port, and this can support up to 30 amps. And this output port is really ideal for people who do use RVs and they want to use this power station to give some power to that particular type of vehicle. And then next to that, you'll find your parallel port for battery expansion, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. And then above these 2 ports, you'll find your traditional 3 AC ports. And then all the way on the other side of this power station, you will find this lid that you can lift up, and then now you'll find a little toggle to be able to switch between slow and fast charging. And then next to that, you'll find your solar/car input port, and next to that, you'll find your traditional AC input, and also you'll find the overload protection button there, and also a data port. And then below those, you'll find 2 extra battery ports. And so these ports, along with the parallel port on the other side, will allow you to expand the total capacity of this power station all the way up to 12,900 watt hours. And this battery capacity can be reached by combining this with 2 other 2100 Pros alongside 4 of their 2100Bs, which are their expansion batteries that they also do sell. Now, if you're not adding any extra batteries to your setup, 2,150 watt hours is what you're getting with this power station. So I did do a stress test to see how those watt hours actually translated into real-time use out of this. So I did power up my heat gun and plugged it in, and that was pulling 1,550 watts typically. And so this means that this power station should be able to last for around 80 minutes or so. So I did go ahead and stop the test at the 40-minute mark, so basically halfway. Now, in a perfect world, this would be showing 50% remaining on the display, but it was actually showing 46%. Now, don't be alarmed. This is how it is with most power stations and really any type of battery technology, whether it's in your phone or your car or whatever. And that's because there's some general loss when you are using these things to be expected. But I would say that this is definitely on average as far as what I've experienced with most other very efficient power stations. So yeah, not 100% accurate, but definitely still reliable. Okay, so now let's talk about what you get inside of the box with this power station. So of course you get the power station, but also you get this box that has the charging cables and stuff. So you get an AC charging cable, a solar charging cable, and also a car charging cable. And when it comes to recharging this, when you are using the AC cable, you can get from 0% all the way up to 80% in about an hour and a half. And then when you are using solar charging, they're saying you can actually get from 0 to 100% in around 2.5 hours or so. And of course, this depends on the quality of your solar panels and how cloudy it is that day, but this will work with most solar panels that do use the MC4 connector. And also the port on this power station is an XT60 port. Oh, and for the actual wattage that the AC input charging can handle is 1,800 watts, and for solar charging, it can handle up to 1,200 watts. Now, the sustained output that this power station can handle all at once is going to be up to 2,400 watts, and you do have a little bit of room to play with, so if you go a little bit over, it still should be fine. But yeah, I think you can have up to around like 17 devices or so plugged into this thing at the same time, and so that's a really good range. And then the surge output rating for this power station is up to 4,800 watts, so it can't sustain that for multiple minutes at a time, nothing like that. But some devices that you plug in might actually surge in the very beginning of it and then drop down to a lower wattage. So if you plug in something that peaks out at like 3,800 watts, yes, that's above the sustained output of 2,400 watts, but because you have that headroom going up to 4,800 watts, it can hold that for a little bit until that device actually powers down a little bit. Now, one thing I did notice when I was using this either under load or in a very hot environment, because it's the summer out here in St. Louis, so it is hot and toasty. But yeah, this thing was pretty quiet overall. all. So you have fans on the sides of this power station, but even when they kicked in on high, this thing was not that loud at all. And so I think on their website, they advertised this being around like 30 decibels or something like that. So I do imagine if I was to use this in my tent or something, this is not going to keep me up at night. But for some reason, it did get too loud. I can always put this outside of my tent and still actually be able to control it. So you can download the Dabbsson app onto your phone and you'll be able to see the input, the output, basically all the information that you can see on the display on this power station. But also you can control things like the light on the front. So I have it at the normal brightness. I can go up to the second brightness level and then I can activate the SOS, and also I can go ahead and turn that off. And you can also control the charging speed inside of this app, and you can also turn off the individual sections like the AC ports and also the DC or the USB ports as well. And also this is where you'll upgrade the firmware and stuff like that for this power station down the line. Now, speaking of down the line, let's talk about what you can expect for the lifespan of this power station. Now, first impressions is that this thing is built very nicely. Nothing is like feeling cheap or anything like that on it. I feel like it's built very solid and shouldn't break easily at all. But as far as like the actual battery, it is rated for 4,500 cycles of you recharging it over and over again and just using it before it will actually drop down to 80% capacity. And compared to the old battery technology, dropping down to 80% after 4,500 times of using this is really nice. And this is going to be many years down the road though, so you don't have to worry about this happening for a while. All right, so let me turn this light back on the power station because yeah, I just like the way that looks. But anyway, this power station has a normal price of $1,399, but it's been on sale ever since I've gotten it for around $759 or so. And the company is saying that they will be participating in the Amazon Prime Day at the time of me uploading this. So make sure you check out all the links in the description of this video for the latest pricing and deals and all that good stuff if I have any down in the description of this video. And so no matter if you're using this as an emergency backup when the power goes out or just to charge a bunch of devices up on the go. On the website, I do like the fact that they do have the couple of graphics here that will let you know that if you do have like a 700 watt refrigerator, this will be able to run that for like 5.2 hours. Or if you are trying to stay warm with an 800 watt space heater, this should be able to last for 4.5 hours. And yeah, just go on the website to look at all these little things. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. And again, check out any links about this power station in the description of this video. But like always, I do want to thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later. Peace.